Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Screen Scene Guru coming at you with a full movie review. I have done an out of the theater review for this. This is Ready or Not 2. Here I Come. This was released back in March 2026. So, a new horror film. Going into this, it is R rated. It's an hour and 48 minutes, so not too long of a runtime. After surviving one deadly game, Grace and her sister Faith must now outrun four rival families, competing for a powerful throne. Winner takes all. So, really cool premise to this movie. I didn't watch the first Ready or Not back in 2019. I need to go back and catch up. But this second one was great. It was from, Searchlight. Yeah, Searchlight Pictures, which is a company owned by Disney. It is a dark comedy, slasher horror. Um, Going into this, we've got the director Matt Bellion, and Tyler Gillett. So it's cool. Got starring Samara Weaving, Catherine Newton, and Elijah Wood. Really good stars in this. Also, we've got, let me go down a bit more. We got Sean Housley, who plays Titus Danforth. He was pretty good in, he's currently on The Pit as one of the doctors. So he's pretty good. And then Sarah Michelle Gellar, of course, really good. David Cronenberg was in the movie for a bit of a sequence. And yeah, a whole lot of others. We got to see Nistro Corbell. He was from Lost. Show up. Had a lot of eyeliner, it seemed like. Even Kevin Durant made his way into this movie, which a very small sequence at the very beginning when he gets blown up. But Kevin Durant made it into the movie. But yeah, pretty good overall horror film. There was a couple elements of it that I said, fast and loose writing because of course, the devil cult stuff, some of the lore they put in the movie was just like ridiculous. Maybe that's because of the writing of it. Let me see. So going into the directors real quick. So Matt Bellanito. Let's see what he's done in directing. Okay, so he was responsible for Scream 6, Abigail, which I have seen, and the first Ready or Not. So those are his credits. He's done the first Ready or Not for 2019. He did Scream 6, which I haven't watched yet. He did Abigail in 2024, and then now Ready or Not 2, which is pretty good. Oh, he's also done Devil's Due, Southbound, VHS, one of the VHS tapes, The Treasure Hunt, The Teleporter, Mountain Devil Peak or Prank, Birthday Party. So yeah, he's in a lot of other horror films that were very low budget. This seems to be, he's going into the higher budget range of these films, so that's cool for Matt Benetili Opel. Matt Benetili Opel. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. As a director. Going on to the other guy, let's see, Tyler Gillett. What has he done? Okay, Tyler Gillett has worked on, let's see, Abigail. He also worked on Abigail. Scream 6. He worked on Scream 5. So that's cool. Ready or Not 1. So he did the first one. Southbound, Devil's Due, VHS. Okay. Treasure Hunt. So pretty much all the same horror films that first director did. They've worked together for a long time, which is cool. But yeah, they're giving it on not even on Rotten Tomatoes, but just on IMDb. It's got a 7 out of 10, which is pretty good for IMDb. Let me look up the tomato meter for. Ready or Not 2. Let's see. I don't know if they'll make it into a franchise, guys, because the way the second one ended, kind of ended on a nice ending. Doesn't really need to bring it back anyone for a third, I don't think. Maybe not for another year or so. They could focus on some other horror stories to tell. Does it have a Rotten Tomato? Let's see your ads. I just want to see what it's at. 73%. So 73 out of, that's 201 in reviews. So that's the tomato meter. And then it looks like it has a 90% for audience. So that's pretty good. 73 for critics, 90% for audience. That's pretty good for the Ready or Not franchise. I thought some of the death sequences were just kind of like ridiculous, because not a lot of people were very good at killing, even though they were supposed to be part of this cult. They chose very weird weapons. But yeah, very interesting story. If you guys are into dark satire / comedies, this is a great pick for you. It's still in the theaters, but it probably will be streaming very soon. So definitely check that out. Got some movie notes to go into real quick, because we had a whole lot of trailers drop in the last few days. So real quick, I want to talk about DreamWorks' Forgotten Island. You guys might have seen the promotion for it, but if you haven't, this is going to be the next big project from DreamWorks. Stephen Colbert is writing the next Lord of the Rings film in the franchise. Is, of course, there's two films going on. There's The Hunt for Gollum, which will fill in the time gaps between The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings franchise. And then apparently Stephen Colbert is writing with Peter Jackson and his team that co-wrote The Lord of the Rings, adapted it from the books. They're now writing a story 14 years after the events of Lord of the Rings. I guess the story is going to be about Sam's daughter and how she discovers there was a plot to, I guess, stop the hobbits before their journey had even began. There was something that could have happened. And I've read a little bit into this. They're talking about, it's based on the 6 chapters from the Fellowship of the Ring that they never adapted for Peter Jackson's movies. They want to introduce Tom Bombadil, which would be really cool, the wizard that's supposed to train Gandalf. He was introduced in the Lord of the Rings Rings of Power series. So that was cool, but not a lot of people watched that, so they're trying to kind of reboot it in a way. So that is going on. Let's see. So yeah, the working title is Shadow of the Past, which sounds pretty cool. It sounds like a video game title. Because I remember when they came out with Shadow of Mordor and then War for Mordor, really good games. So if they get inspiration from that, kind of, I don't know. It is interesting. It's the first Lord of the Rings film with a shadow in the title of it. So that's cool. But yeah, like I said, inspiration for the project was 6 chapters that were never adapted from the original movies. And they're bringing on Stephen Colbert's son to do screenwriting, I guess, producing. But they've been working together for the last 3 years, so that's a big deal. They're setting to return to Middle Earth. And apparently they talked about how Merry, Pippin, Sam, and Frodo, they were all given blades in the first film by Aragorn to defend themselves against the Nazgul, against the Barrow-wights, particularly the Witch King of Angmar, who stabs Frodo with his blade, and then Frodo feels it stinging him whenever he's thinking about him or whatever. But very interesting enough, they now are saying that the special daggers that Aragorn gave Merry, Pippin, Sam, and Frodo were actually Numenor daggers. So Numenor was that island in Rings of Power that you eventually find out in the books. It has a great earthquake and floods, so it sinks into the sea. But it was an island lived on by both humans and elves. They crafted boats and knives and all kinds of things together, but there was cohabitation going on between humans and elves on this island until it unfortunately sank. But the knife that Mary stabs the Witch King of Agmar with was a Numenorian blade, so it's supposed to be special elvish metal crafted by man, used by a hobbit. Very interesting. So going on from there, like I said, they're going to be covering the sinister Barrows, so that's going to be a thing. The Barrow Whites are going to be, let's see, Fame Fogged of the Barrow Downs. So, very interesting stuff. Not sure if they're going to bring up, because technically, Aragorn is a descendant of the Isildurs, and Isildurs were one of the families that survived the Numenorian island disaster. So he ended up going over and establishing Gondor. So that happens. Let's see. The beginning of a new era. So this could be a new, the entertainment of Middle Earth. Let's see. William Shatner turns 95 years old, which is really cool. 95-year-old Shatner, Captain Kirk. I wonder what he thinks of Star Trek today. Spider-Man Brand New Day earns 718.6 million views. So a lot of views for that Spider-Man trailer. Ryan Gosling playing the lead in the Daniels' next film. They've confirmed after the success of Project Hail Mary. The Daniels directing team, they were responsible for One Battle After... Oh, sorry, not One Battle After Another. It was Everything Everywhere All at Once. So 5 years ago, Michelle Yeoh, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now the Daniels are coming back to do another film. We're not sure what the premise of this one is yet, just the casting announcement of Ryan Gosling attached. Universal set to spend $100 million this year alone on content, which $100 million isn't a whole lot, considering that's like a budget of one movie. X-Files casting Hamasha Patel and Daniel Deadweir, and Gillian Anderson is in talks to return, so that's very interesting. Ryan Coogler about a cameo in the new series, so we may get Gillian Anderson in the series as well. Jumanji 3 has moved its release date. Now, instead of coming out in summer, it's going to come out in Christmas, so Christmas release. Harry Potter series set to release on Christmas as well, so that's really upsetting some of these movie release dates. Big bomb dropped for this Harry Potter trailer that also got a really big viewership. Sadie Sink is Jean Grey in Spider-Man 4, setting up the Mutant Saga. I heard she signed a 5-picture deal, so at least 5 films, including the Spider-Man. Anne Hathaway passed on being a Spider-Man 4 villain, most likely because she didn't want to pull a Madam Web. So she saw that film and was like, I don't need this. Spielberg was given a deal to make UFO movies. Supposedly, this is coming out from insiders. Soldiers approached him after Jaws in 1975, and they asked him to make UFO films for them. Apparently, he's continued to make UFO films for the government, but was only allowed to show certain things on the films. So if you watch his TV, he goes a lot more in depth in his television side of things, because he wasn't under any kind of scrutiny or rules. But in the films, he was under a lot of scrutiny and rules. So, a questionable conspiracy of astronauts going off-world to live amongst aliens. So yeah, there's a big conspiracy going on about, we believe that we've been sending astronauts for a long time to live amongst these beings off-planet. It's kind of a for all mankind idea of things. But now people are asking, is this really going on? Michael B. Jordan is now asking for more money for the new Miami Vice project. His original budget was $5 million. Now they're asking for $18 million, which sounds interesting. But if you look into a few months ago, Austin Butler, his co-lead, was asking for $9 million, while Michael B. Jordan was only asking for 5. And now that he's won the Oscar, people are saying they're going to raise their prices. They're going to pay him $18 million to give them both 9. But I thought it was interesting that Austin Butler was asking for more when he hasn't even won any awards yet. So yeah, they're going to pay him big, pay him out. Andy Weir, the writer of Project Hail Mary, says he's open to do a sequel if they want him to on Amazon. He's just never done a sequel to any of his books before. And funny enough, he did a book after The Martian, after Project Hail Mary, called Artemis, which we just launched, Artemis 2, last night, guys. It was a successful launch. Very happy about it. They're going to be hurtling past the moon some point today, taking images of the backside, dark side of the moon, hopefully finding landing patterns, finding places to put down more shuttles. They've already got like 9 locations mapped out that are of interest of the southern poles. And yeah, like I said, he's already writing a new book. Deep Water dropped a trailer, which looks very fascinating. A plane crash in the middle of the ocean. And then to add on top of that, the survivors of this plane crash have to face off against sharks. So another one of these films that they're like throwing multiple premises in. A Halloween game is coming out with a super interactive storyline where Michael Myers is chasing after 4 individuals at this town. Don't remember the name of the town from the franchise. But as he's chasing them, he has an amount of time to get these characters. And I guess you're allowed to help each other in the town. If you go and warn your neighbors about Michael Myers, they end up working together to fight Michael. So you can't actually defeat him. He does come back from the dead. But it's very cool they showed off this interactive ability in the game to team up on Michael. They also talk about this shadow walk, which I wasn't a big fan of to begin with, but now that you see it in action, shadow walk, essentially you get to become invisible and like teleport quickly anywhere on the map. So say if the players are hiding from you or they've set up defenses, you can easily get around their defenses, get inside the house. So that's pretty cool for the game. Super Mario Galaxy is out in theaters. That's why I'm wearing my Toad shirt, my Luigi hat, merch. Really looking forward to this movie. Hoping it's going to be good. Paw Patrol 4 is going Dino, which is really cool. I saw the trailer, the AMC exclusive trailer. Backstreet Boys is going to be doing the soundtrack for Paw Patrol 4. Looks like the biggest, best one. I'm not a huge Paw Patrol fan, but I would go see this in the theaters. I'm sure a lot of other people would too. Chris Evans said he's back to star in Marvel projects, so that's a big reveal. Alien Gov website launches at the White House, so they've officially got the domain name for alien.gov and aliens.government. Releasing encrypted messages from the White House, AI messages, apparently, that only if you have like an AI special translator you can understand. So I don't know why this administration is going so hard into AI, but they are. A new group of people are gathering currently to help, or have helped, extremely in high positions in Defense Department. 24 individuals have formed an association to bring some of the government's secrets to public. So this is coming out from Danny Sheehan, who I'm not a big fan of. He's stolen research before from Stephen Greer, from others. He's supposedly, taken a video that he's been shown, recorded over it, and then leaked it as his own. So Danny Sheehan, bah. But some people listen to him. He's got a black book of secrets. He claims to have details on Secret Service members, active and inactive, that have done things. But yeah, really interesting. Mahershala Ali returns to television, guys. He's going right back to HBO Max. after the supposed Blade deal that was supposed to happen. But yeah, he's going back. He's joining Task season 2 with Mark Ruffalo. He always does the best work as playing a cop. He was really good in True Detective. Nationwide protests over Trump. A No Kings protest recently happened. It was one of the biggest protests in the country in the last few years. Tiger Woods got arrested for DUI, flipping his car again. He seems to do this every couple of years. Glenn Powell will voice Fox McCloud in the new Mario Galaxy. Supergirl trailer dropped, and I thought it was fantastic. Great trailer. They also dropped a second Masters of the Universe trailer, trying to give it a little bit more story. I didn't really care for the second trailer for Masters of the Universe. I was hyped with the first one. But the second trailer, it was alright. Didn't show us a whole lot more. Housemaid 2 is titled The Housemaid's Secret, and it's set to release in December of 2027. And it has Kirsten Dunst in it, so really big. Avatar 3 hits digital release, so you guys can purchase Avatar Fire and Ash digitally. I'm waiting for the 4K Steelbook to be dropped. I don't know where it's at. I went to my local Walmart, didn't see it, but I'm still waiting. And Avatar The Last Airbender Season 2 dropped a sizzle reel with the cast, talking about what it's like to film the series. They gave an update on it being released in June. June is going to be one of the biggest months of the year, guys. They've got several films coming out, major shows premiering. So if you're looking for something to watch, June is going to be a packed month. Let's see. Okay, so Shohei Kaswan has joined the live-action Gundam film. If you guys aren't familiar with Shohei Kaswan, she was in the second Deadpool 2. She was the Asian girlfriend to Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She was also in Invasion, a very interesting show. She was a lead in Invasion. Now they're giving her a role in Gundam, which is really cool because she's starring next to Michael Mando and also Sydney Sweeney. So that's really cool. Project Hail Mary is the biggest opening for Ryan Gosling's career. So that's really good for him. Netflix prices hike up due to their content creating. They're saying they're making better stuff, so they're rising the prices. I wanted to mention this in my video. So they added the ad features in 2021, so just about 5 years ago. And ever since they've added ads, their feature, they've slowly started adding $1 onto your subscription price. If you don't have ads, you have to pay more. If you have ads, you're paying for like $15 a month. Well, now they've just added another $1 to that. So if you pay for ads, if you pay for out ads, you're paying like $26. And if you're paying for ads, you're paying $18, which is really outrageous. I'm wondering what the hell is the method of this, because this is basically cable. They're taking us right back to cable. But yeah, essentially punishing the viewers, I've been saying. And it's only going to get worse with this, 2027 coming around, and usually when one streaming service raises its prices, the others start to. Backrooms trailer, official trailer for Backrooms, looked gorgeous. It looked like it was one of the best cinematic films they've shot all year. It is being done by the game developer, so I'm very happy about that. Similar to how they did Last of Us and other games. Sinister 3. So I was a big fan of this franchise with Ethan Hawke in the first one. Second one I wasn't so much a fan of. Well, Sinister 3 is officially in the works. This time, instead of a movie, the directors are coming back. Scott Derrickson is back, but this time it's going to be a TV series as Sinister. And it may be before the first two movies. I'm not sure if it's a prequel or direct following, but it sounds like it's awesome. Talked about Masters of the Universe. Elves, apparently. There's a DMT universe that if you're experimenting in the drugs of DMT, you can trip apparently and go to a parallel universe occupied by elves. Well, apparently the elves are kicking people out of this DMT realm because they're upset with how humanity is acting. Not with just the war, the conflict here in our world, but just like how we are as a species, I guess, or how we've behaved. So the elves are kicking us out of the DMT dimension. Very shocking. Scream 8 is fast-tracked to be on the works for Paramount because they made a lot of money with Scream 7. Robert Pattinson was recently red carpet interviewed for the drama with Zendaya, who just got married, by the way. This is a rom-com satire about her getting married, but she really did just get married in real life. But Robert Pattinson talks about how in 1 week he'll start doing the press for Batman Part 2. And apparently they're going to start shooting it very soon. So we thought it wasn't going to be till the end of 2026, early 2027. But now Pattinson himself is giving the news update. He's going to shoot this very soon. And like I said, Harry Potter trailer surpassed 277 million views because the franchise is quite good. Real quick before I leave, I'll show off some of my swag that I was able to get at Walmart. So for the discounted bin, $9, I was able to get the Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid DVD copy of The Substance. I know a lot of people are currently talking about this. They're also talking about The Beauty on Hulu. Need to start watching that. But this is a film from last year that I need to get caught up on. Rated R, of course, for the subject material. Interesting to see what studio this came from. Moombi, M-U-B-I, Moombi Studios. Let's see. Have you ever dreamt of a better version of yourself? Deliriously entertaining and ruthlessly satirical. Talk about the director. Cannes sensation turned exotic beauty culture inside out. With a be careful what you wish for fable for the ages, Demi Moore gives a career best performance as Elizabeth Sparkle, a former A-lister past her prime and suddenly fired from her fitness TV show by repellent studio head Harvey, played by Dennis Quaid. She's then drawn to the opportunity presented by a mysterious new drug, The Substance. All it takes is one injection and she is reborn temporarily as the gorgeous 20-something Sue Margaret Qualley. The only rule, time needs to be split. Exactly 1 week in one body, then 1 week in the other. No exceptions. A perfect balance. What could go wrong? Explosive, provocative, and twisted. The Substance makes the arrival of a thrilling visionary filmmaker. So, that's cool. Special features, they just had the featurette. So no behind the scenes, no documentary, which is fine. Let's see, it's 141 minutes, so not super long. And yeah, it's R-rated for strong, bloody content, gore, graphic nudity, and language. So, heard there's a pretty interesting sequence in this with Margaret Qualley, like filming an aerobic class. So definitely gotta check that out. But one more thing before I leave. Got a new Funko Pop. Now I'm not a big fan of buying Funkos all the time. Of course I've got like a shit ton on my wall back there. I've got Galactus, I've got Thor's Goat Boat, I've got Ultron, Infinity Ultron from What If. But now I've got Star Wars. So going into this is the new line of Funkos they've made with a new art style. They try to do those every couple of months to try to make money because the franchise is like going out of business. But I got Jango Fett, which really cool stuff. They're doing a new line of Star Wars, this one has Dooku, Mace Windu, and Jango Fett. So pretty cool art styles they've got right there. You can see this one on the side. And this is what it looks like on the front. I really like this, the purple streak in the mask, because it reminded me of frickin' Sabine. Sabine Wren would like to design her art style, her Mandalorian armor like that. So I thought that was really cool. Not sure how well you can guys see that on the screen. But yeah, pretty dope. There's more movie stuff going on. I know, what was it? Crime 101 is now on digital, so you guys can check that out. I saw it in the theater. It was pretty good. Like I said, Avatar 3 is out on digital. A couple more things are coming very soon. In May, we're going to get one of the biggest 4K releases ever. So they're remastering a lot of content for May, the month of May. Fight Club is getting a 4K. Speed Racer, the Wachowskis' Speed Racer, 4K. Couple other things. I think Dante's Peak is already out. Couple more stuff that's coming down the line that's very interesting to filmmakers, people interested in cinema that study it. So be sure to keep your eyes out for all the great stuff. Be sure to like the video, comment down below if you found out something you didn't know before. You can also contact me personally through my social medias at Scene Screen Guru on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you guys can reach me. I will contact you back. I will let you know how I'm doing and all great things. So this is me signing off for another video. Have a good one, guys and gals. I will catch you in my next video. Have a good one. Stay safe. And signing off.